Hello and welcome here to our next tutorial, and today we are talking about smart materials inside of Mari. Yes, you heard right, you can also have in Mari some smart materials. The only difference is, compared to Substance Painter, you have to make them yourself. Mari ships with some default materials. They are basic, I would say. If you want to learn how you can pimp them, Meshman just released a cool video where he's showing how to do that. I will link that into the video description. But we are talking about smart materials, and I will show you in today's video how you can create them yourself. And of course, the best way to do that is in Mari. So as you can see here, I have already made one. And what we want to do is delete it, because I show you how to create one. I'll add Mari load quickly. So black shader ball, nice. We start with a material node. For that we go in. So here you can choose the material you want to use. I'm using it principal BRDF because it has a bit less output nodes. So it's actually a bit more tied to work in that, but you can use the one you prefer to work with. Press OK, don't want to have the default colors, and hook it up here to our multi-channel merge. Nothing should happen here, because as I've said, it's empty, nothing. And for example, the Arnold one will have a lot more, and I want to have it a bit more tight here. All right, so let's start here with a base metal. For that, we bring in here a color node. I want, no, not the color lookup. I want to have the color node. Great, bring it here into the base. And we want to have here a white constant because it's metal, right? It's not like music metal, it's a material metal. Music metal is cool as well, but we are talking here about materials. So we have here the roughness. For that we can go for the constant. Let's hook this one up as well. And change here the value to probably something like that. So we get it very glossy here. And last but not least, we want to have here a bump. For that we can use a gray constant because it's a mid gray, and assign it here. Let's bring that here a bit up so we can work a bit more tight. So we already have here now a metallic metal base material. We could save that already, but as I said, we want to make it smart, right? So for that, we need to introduce here a second material. For that, we can bring in here some merge nodes, here as well, and here as well. Cool. Here we can use a color node again, hook it up here. Here we can use a black constant because it's a non-metallic. So it's a dielectric, and here we can use another constant. So we have a number value here. We can select it here and probably go for something like that. And here we can also go for, let's go here for a constant as well, but with a mid of 0.5. So the first nothing happens. Let's give it here a cool color. Let's jump here into that. And let's create, by the way, this is a super weird bug that it's jumping around. Foundry, please fix that. So let's go here for something like the Substance Painter old machinery preset, which everyone is using and looks horrible. So let's make this one here, but let's make it look cooler. So we have here the top layer. And there's one thing which is still missing to make it smart, and these are our geometry bakes. And for that we can actually go for geo channels, and we have here already, I tested that already, so we can delete all of them, and we have to bake them. So in Mari 7 you have the new bakery, which is insane cool new feature they added. So you can now bake your utility maps here inside of Mario and you don't need an external bakery anymore, or you have to use this super incredible slow motor baker. And I tell you guys, this bakery is on steroids. It's insanely fast, and that's really cool. So I've added here already the ambient occlusion curvature. You can add them here at bake item. This is what we have available at the moment. So Foundry say they will ship some more in the future, but I think that's a good start here. So we have the ambient occlusion. So here are the settings. I guess it's just the default, and we have the curvature here. I just tweaked a tiny bit. I found the angle works a bit better here and made it a bit stronger, and changed here a bit the sample offset. We also can make a preview here. So changed it to high and render it. So one little thing to mention, you cannot really zoom in here now. We already made a feature request that it's actually possible, so make sure you're zoomed in first. And then we have here a live preview of the map we are doing. So we can also switch here to the ambient occlusion. Then we can change here the values. So it's up to you, the values you want. And then here we have different options how we want to export them. Export them as a paint node, geo channel, or channel, and in my case I want to have them as a geo channel because I want that this smart material is picking this data up automatically. And let's hit bake, and it's baking, and just give it a second, look at that, bam, done. So close the bakery, and we have them here, ambient occlusion and curvature. Alright, let's jump here into our material again because we have to mask them now. And for that, I like to have a group node here. So it's a bit more tight, it's a bit more organized. So we can hook these guys up here. And this one and this one. And we can jump here into this guy. So we want to have a geo channel node, and here in the geo channel node we want to use the curvature. And the curvature, we only want to have the whites and don't want to have the grays. So I can show you that what I mean here. You can view it. I think it's probably a bit easier. So we only want to have the white parts. What I like to do is we go here for a black constant, and then let's go here for the overlay blend mode. So if you don't have this node here, because you don't have the extension pack, it's not a problem, you just can use a merge node, and then here switch the blend mode to contrast overlay. It's the exact same. The blend overlay node is just a stripped down version here of the merge node, which makes the node graph a bit lighter. That's what we get here. Cool, right? So we need to add here a few more nodes. For example, we need to invert that because we want to have where it's black, the metal, which is underneath the yellow paint, right? Then we also want to have here a levels node so we can actually control the distance of our edges. We want to switch here to clamp version, make a bit more space here, and we can break it up a bit more. So we can go here for overlay, and here this you can go as crazy as you want. So this is really up to you. I'm building here now just a super basic one to show you here the workflow, how to do that. So you can go here as crazy as you want, and you can also use textures. We just see that in a bit. Probably something like that. All right, let's go in here for another overlay. And here after I have my image manager, I just drag in here my texture. That's the wrong version, so we want to have it here. And that's a simple tileable node. As you can see here, it's just the texture. And bring that in here. That's how it looks like. And now bring in another levels. This is actually what Substance Painter is doing under the hood as well. The only difference is in Mario we have to create it ourselves, which is not a problem because we know what we do, right? And if you don't know it, then you probably watched this video and after that you know it. And look at that, what we get here. So let's jump here, here a bit more up and view our shader again. And nothing happens because we need to hook it up here to our output. And 1 second to load. here we go, look at that. There's a cool feature in Mari where you can actually promote some of the values here. For example, we can actually promote, what that means is we can here hit the little tool icon, I guess. So we can bring them here, and we also want to have here this guy, and here we want to promote that. What does that mean? So here on the group node now, we have them available here to tweak, but we want to make it even smarter. We are still here in a kind of group node. We just promote them one more time again. And my suggestion is name them, because here it's not just levels 1, levels, no numbers. So be a bit smarter design, just name them so you know what you tweak. But to be honest, I don't want that this tutorial is going for too long, because people like to have a bit shorter one. And here on our material node, we have here now the values to tweak. So we can change here the, what is it? I guess it's the crunch. Yeah, name it better. So here we can change the distance. As you can see, it's now the distance of the curvature. Here we have the crunch of the second level node, so we can make it softer. But since this is more of a chipped edge one, we want to have it a bit sharper. So something like that probably. And something like that. And you can promote all the values you want. You can also promote here the cloud size and the cloud roughness. You can promote whatever you want, really. It's up to you. I'm showing here the technique. Okay, cool. This already kind of works as a smart material, but we want to add another layer, right? So bring in here, new merge nodes, and here as well. Cool, here another color, hook it up here, and here it's again a dielectric. We can use the black one here, and then here another constant. By the way, you can promote these constants as well to your main material node, and then you can tweak it there as well. What also works is you can actually use texture nodes here, and then you can add already some texture variations to it. This is really a cool way how you can build a library yourself, and then you can kickstart your asset way faster if you want. So you have already cool presets. Let's give it here a more brown color of it here already. And now again, bring in here a group node, hook it up, make a bit more space, select it here. If you wonder how I quickly connect them, that's an actual feature of the extension pack. So you can actually select with E the closest node to the cursor. That's actually pretty handy. And then you can select the second one and then hit W, and then it connects them. It's incredible handy. To be honest, it's one of my favorite features. But we're not here to talk about my favorite features, we are here to learn how to make smart materials. So, as you guess right, we want to have the next geo channel, and we can already hook this guy up here, but it's empty, so we have to hook it up to some data. Let's go here for the ambient occlusion, and that's the other way around as we wanted. So, invert, and load it here. It's already more towards what we want, but it's not quite there. Bring in here the overlay. I like the overlay. You can also use a multiply if you want. And then another cloud. I hope this doesn't feel too rushed for you guys, so let me know in the comments if you want to have it a bit slower or if you want to have it a bit more explained into details. So you can always give me some feedback about my tutorials. I'm happy to learn as well. Alright, so this is more looking something like we want. We can also use here another levels node to control that. Send it here to clamp. And 1 second. And it's loaded, so now we can change it here. And we can actually name this guy now. That's now the AO control. And if we now promote this value here to the group, to this group, we actually have it now here. Look, AO control, and we can actually use this one. Let's name it oil. Come on, oil mask. And here again, promote this value. And here on the top level, we have it here. See, oil mask. Oh, actually, look at that. It's not named here. Founder, if you're watching, could be an improvement here. That would be nice. So now we have it here as well that we can control it. And as you can see, this is a super basic material. To boost it up in quality, you can use here already some pre-made networks, for example, where you can create a cool base material where you're using some mega scans, for example, some diffuse and the roughness and bump maps and some normal maps, and plug them here into it instead of here my just procedural nodes, which is a color here in this example, or a constant, and hook this guys up here and then build your smart materials. And then you will get something that is looking a bit less like this procedural looking base material, but as I've said, I want to show you guys here the workflow, how you can do that, and I think this comes across. If no, let me know in the comments as well. So we have one last thing to do. We want to name that guy here. Yellow paint. And then we can go here for export. Export as material, and then you can choose a path where you want to store them. Here, for example, I guess it's my F, yes. Here, materials, and then you can name it, for example, here. Come up with a smart naming convention. Smart yellow. I have here already a old yellow paint, so let's make a yellow paint, save. And then, yes, we can also rename this node here to smart yellow paint. Give it a moment to export everything. It will also create a cool thumbnail for us for the shelf, and you will see that in just a bit. Give it a moment to cook here. Compile shader, yes, please do that. We want to have a compile shader. Come on. And I think we are done. That's pretty cool. So where is it? In the shelf. I've set up here a custom shortcut to open it. The shelf is also actually, God, where's the shelf? Here, look, it's the shelf. It's a shelf icon. And you can create here a new group if you want, and then you can go in here, right click, and then import items, navigate to the path where you have saved it, Mari, materials, and then we have here the smart yellow paint, open, and here we are. So each time you open Mari, it will read it automatically, and to demonstrate it will work, we can simply drag and drop it in here again, our smart yellow material, and then we can hook it up. Let it cook here in the viewport, and here we are. So it's really automatically looking for these geo channels, and here you have to be careful that the naming convention is correct, because it actually looks for exactly like that naming. If the naming is different, then it will not find it, and then it will give you an error and say, hey, I cannot find that. So make sure that Mari can find this data. So yeah, we are at 20 minutes, I guess. Yeah, 19 minutes. So I hope this video was cool for you, and if you found it a bit too quick and you want to deep dive a bit more into it, or you want to make a bit more of a prettier material together, then we can actually do that as well. Let me know in the comments, and then we can paste down a bit and maybe deep dive a bit more into that if you want. And again, if you want to learn how you can pimp up the default materials from Mari that are shipped with Mari, then check out Meshman's tutorial about that. I will put the link into the video description. And I wish you guys happy painting, and we see us next time. Bye bye.